Hello, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Let me just get situated here. As you guys can see by the title, I am currently in Bali and I'm only here for like another hour or so. And I felt like I really wanted to just sit down and talk to you guys about my trip because I have had such an amazing time. So I think the structure of this video is going to be talking a little bit about why I came to Bali and what I did in Bali. And then at the end of the video, I wanted to answer some of your guys' questions because you sent me a lot of questions over Instagram. But let's start at the beginning. So back in August, I was out on the deck with Lola. As you guys might remember if you follow me on Instagram, she takes her little piggy toy out to the deck every morning and I drink a cup of tea while we sit in the sun with her pig. That's like the haps. I have an entire highlight on it on my Instagram story highlights. I digress. But as we were out there in the sunshine enjoying our morning, I received a DM from my internet friend Rochelle Fox. Rochelle is somebody that I have been friends with online for at least 5 or 6 years. She used to be a DJ back in Sydney, and I think that I just kind of knew her through that scene. And so I just followed her from there. And I have just really enjoyed following her because she's such a positive, inspiring woman. To deal with very severe PTSD, she learned meditation. And it was such a transformative experience for her that she decided to get certified to become a meditation teacher. And fast forward 7 years, whatever it's been, she is now a meditation teacher out in Bali. So Rochelle messages me and she said that she would love to have me on one of her retreats. I was so excited to receive the message. I honestly didn't think that I'd ever come back to Bali. I'd already been here twice and I loved it. It's just such a far journey. I just didn't really think I'd have the opportunity to come back out this way. When I heard that other influencers were coming on this trip, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous because I've previously gone on trips where obviously I've had a really nice time, but I've also been on trips where it was very cliquey and it's hard to put yourself in a position where you're being genuinely vulnerable and you're really opening up when other people maybe aren't doing the same or they don't take it seriously. So I was a little bit nervous, and in the back of my mind I had that reservation and that story was kind of playing in my head. I took 36 hours, like door to door. It was such a long travel. I went from Kelowna to Vancouver, and then Vancouver to Taipei in Taiwan, and then from Taiwan over to Denpasar, Bali. And by the time you get to Bali, you're definitely a little bit shell-shocked. It's a lot of travel. But I arrived and there was a driver waiting for me to take me to the Mindspo Mansion. Now, if you guys follow Rochelle, you've probably already seen the Mindspo Mansion and how incredible it is. But I'm gonna insert quite a few clips throughout this kind of recap video just so you guys can kind of get a feeling of what the atmosphere was like and what I saw and what we did. So the house was incredible. She has done up, I can't remember if it's like 5 or 6 larger rooms that have like multiple beds in them, and they all have a theme. She has like a Mykonos room, a Mexican themed room. She has a couple of just really like peaceful serenity style rooms, and she has names for all of them. I totally don't remember her specific names for them, but it was so gorgeous. And yeah, everything at the retreat was kind of covered. So our food was provided and all of our activities were planned out. I was the first person to arrive, and it was really nice because I was excited to have a little bit of one-on-one time with Chris and Rochelle. As I said, I followed them for years and we never had the chance to actually meet. So it was really cool getting to just know them and feel their energy and their vibes before the retreat started. They are such nice people. Like I can't speak highly enough about them and what they're doing with Mindspo. It is just, it's so cool what they are bringing to the world. Anyways, yeah, so the rest of the girls arrived like later that night or the next day. And then we started the week off by doing a really cool exercise where we all had a piece of paper, and on that paper we wrote something that we've been holding on to and wanted to let go of. And I'm not gonna get into what we wrote because that was a really private and vulnerable moment for all of us. I felt like I got to know the girls on a deep level right away. So anyways, we wrote our pieces of paper, and then as we read them out, we threw them into a fire and we cheered, and it was amazing. There's something so primal about burning shit. Like, I don't know. So that's how we started the week. And then the next day, Rochelle took us out to this beautiful waterfall. It was stunning. To get to this waterfall, you had to follow this really windy little trail that was down a bunch of steps. And then all of a sudden it opened up into this enormous like lagoon style heaven. I don't know how else to explain it. It was so beautiful. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was like some magical fairy world. We had so much fun exploring and swimming and taking really cute pictures. And we made a really funny TikTok video on Karissa's account. I'll link it down below. But I was like, okay, we have to do a TikTok to TLC waterfalls. Because after we wrapped up at the waterfall, we jumped back in the cars and we drove to Ubud and went to a place called Pyramids of Chi. And oh my gosh, I recommend it so much, you guys. It is a place where they do sound healing. I had done sound healing previously, but not something on that scale. So from my understanding, the guy that started it in a dream, he got this idea that he needed to build pyramids in Bali. And so he did. And these things are like freaking huge. Like it's nuts. It looks so cool. So they have a restaurant there. We had lunch. And then we went in for a sound healing experience. And that was so powerful. I can't even explain. If you've done sound healing, you probably understand. But just in that environment, it was just so moving. And man, it was just like you're projected out into the astral world. It was absolutely insane. We all were lying down with little weighted pillows over our eyes, and it felt like the music was inside of you and a part of you. And it's just such a cool experience. I very highly recommend if you're ever out that way. But okay, so the second day, we did a day trip to Uluwatu. And I've actually been out to Uluwatu before. It's like at the very southern tip of Bali. It takes a little while to drive out there. You guys might have seen my video when my friend Brooke got married. She got married out in that area. So I recognized a lot of places that we were driving past and like went around. It was so beautiful on the beach. The sand there is relatively white or lighter colored sand, which is totally different for Bali. Most of the beaches are like black sand or like dark brown sand. So it was really nice to get like that classic white sand beach look. Explored there and then went back to the mansion and just kind of had our own time in the mansion for the rest of that day. And then the next day was a spa day. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. At the spa, we had pedicures and like a high tea, which is really nice. We had like little sandwiches and nibbles and stuff like that. And we also did facials where they did like a gold leaf mask on our faces. It was so bougie. I've never experienced anything like that. It was really quite cool. That was actually on Halloween day, so it was really nice to have such a relaxed and chill Halloween. It's definitely a first for me. We went back to the mansion, and that evening, the only kind of dress code that we had all week was we knew we had to bring one outfit that was like entirely white, and we were like, okay, like cool, like what's that for? Turns out Rochelle had planned for Halloween for us to all be angels. And so she brought us angel wings and we had the most amazing time. Somebody mixed cocktails for us and we just had a really nice time out on like the terrace up top at the Mindspo mansion. Rochelle also planned for a astrologist, is that the right word? For somebody to basically come and talk about horoscopes and what's happening with energy. And you guys know I've never been someone that like fully invests in the idea of astrology, but I really connected with the girl who was talking about it, and I'll leave her Instagram down below as well. But just the way that she talked about it in more of an energy exchange way, it was super interesting. And like, funny side note, a lot of what she was talking about has kind of manifested over the last few days, and a lot of us have been like, maybe there is something to this astrology stuff. I found out that I have a lot of Capricorn in me. I knew that I was a Capricorn, but my sun and my moon are also Capricorn, and like a ton of my chart is Capricorn. Turns out I am the most Capricorn she had ever actually seen or experienced, which I thought was really funny. And yeah, now I'm actually quite curious to go and have like a proper full reading, just because I've never really invested any time or energy into that, and now I'm quite curious. So that was kind of cool. The last couple of days we just enjoyed spending time around the mansion. What I didn't mention is this entire trip, every single day, we did a group meditation, and wow. So you guys know that I meditate, and I never was one to meditate every single day, but this trip I've meditated every day for the past 12 days, and in a different style of meditation. It has been so awesome, and I really look forward to bringing that practice home. As you guys may know from previous videos, I've spoken a lot about guided meditation, and the style of meditation that I'm used to doing is much more of like a philosophical based guided style meditation. And the style of meditation that Rochelle and Chris teach at Mindspo is way more mantra based. The concept is when you're breathing in and breathing out, you have a certain set of sounds that you keep playing over and over and over in your mind. And wow, it works so well. I've never dropped so quickly into a state of meditation and felt that flow so easily. And I'm really excited to, I guess, bring that into my daily life and share that a bit with you guys. This whole experience at Mindspo has just been absolutely incredible. I think that what Chris and Rochelle have done is so important, not just getting people to meditate here and there, but to genuinely make it so that meditation is something easy and accessible and not too woo-woo for everyone to do. And I think that that is such an important thing to bring to our very busy lives, because most people just don't take the time every day to do something like that. Something that I loved that they shared on this retreat was a metaphor about brushing your teeth. Most of us brush our teeth twice a day, right? At least for like maybe 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes at night. Meditation is like brushing your teeth before your mind. Your mind is probably 10 times more important than your teeth will ever be. So why don't we take 10 times the amount of time, which is 20 minutes? We could be taking 20 minutes a day and putting that towards our mental health and well-being, and really truly check in with ourselves, be silent, be still, and create a space within us to not be reactive. That's been my favorite thing about practicing meditation more often, is that I find that instead of reacting out of an emotion when something triggers me or when something bothers me, I'm able to look at the big picture, step back, and act on something from an actual logical sense rather than an emotional sense. It's like a daily cleaning of my brain. And when they presented it like that, it really got me thinking, because I'd never really heard someone talk about it in that sense. I always thought that meditation was one of those things that like, oh, like if I remember to do it, like cool. But like, you don't feel that way about your teeth. Like, you feel really weird if you don't brush your teeth. It's gross, and you're like, oh, that's yucky, like fuzzy yuckiness. Why don't we do that with our brains? Throughout the day, like we have times where we're anxious or frustrated or reactive or sad, but we do nothing to combat that. So why not put it into a practice every single day to do something about it? On the last day of our trip, they actually launched their new meditation course, which they did give me a discount code if any of you are interested in trying meditation or having someone really break it down in a relatable and easy way so that it becomes a habit in your daily life. I think it was just so cool though that like the first thing that they said is like, you don't have to buy our course. It doesn't have to specifically be what we are putting out to the world. We just want to bring meditation to a wider audience. And to do that via people like myself that, you know, work online and have audiences, it's just such a different thing. Like there's nobody doing anything like that on the internet. It's just so important to share different ways to better your mental health. And regardless if you use their Mindspo program or if you use an app like Headspace or an app like the Waking Up app that I shared with you guys in my last video, it doesn't really matter. It just matters that we sit down and we practice and we commit to that practice every single day. I don't know, it really resonated with me, and I think that it would explain meditation in a super simple way that anybody could really connect with, rather than feeling like it's too woo-woo or unattainable or like, oh, you'll start one day. It's just such an easy way to start now and make that into a committed practice. After the meditation retreat, I actually had a few days here in Bali all by myself. And it's kind of funny because you guys know, like, I do have anxiety, and there's a lot of the time where I listen to the voice in my head, and especially when I'm at home, I find it easier to fall into that trap. And so anyway, when I was booking this, I extended my trip so that the last like 3 days I would be able to just spend time alone and really push myself out of my comfort zone to go and adventure and be brave. And I'm so glad that I did. Oh my gosh, there's something about putting yourself in a position where you are slightly uncomfortable to grow through that just feels so good. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel proud of myself. I am so happy that I did it. And I feel like I'm coming out on the other side just so much more clear and excited about my future and my life. And I don't know, I feel like I've really just had the time to just collect myself and feel like I'm ready for the next. Do you like how my hair has like progressively gotten drier as I've sat here? Whew. Well, okay, so the last few days I have been in Canggu, and I'm staying actually at Chris and Rochelle's Airbnb, which I will leave the information down below because I'm pretty sure you can rent this place out too, and it's like freaking gorgeous. But yeah, I've just stayed in Canggu. I got a tattoo. I will maybe include that in a little bit in a blog post because I feel like this video will be a bit too long if I try and include every little bit of everything. But yeah, I got a tattoo. I went to the beach.
And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin.
I went shopping, I ate really great food. Oh my gosh, Bali has the absolute best food. And yeah, I feel like the time flew by so quickly. I kind of thought that there would be points of my solo travel where I felt like, wow, like what do I do today? Or like, wow, time's really dragging on. The last 3 days have gone by so fast. I kind of wish that I booked another couple of days. But yeah, my ride is here in about 20 minutes and I'm just kind of like decompressing from this trip. It's been such a wonderful time. I can't express that enough. If you or someone thinks that you would maybe want to travel alone, but you're worried or you're nervous or you're like, oh, can I do this? I really hope that my experience reminds you to just try it, just go out and do it. You really will surprise yourself with how you can do these things and that you feel actually a lot more comfortable when you do push past that anxiety feeling. I don't know, I'm proud of myself, and I think that it was just such an awesome way to just grow and to feel even more confident with who I am and what I'm doing and my abilities to do things by myself. Okay, before this video gets to be like 30 minutes long, I am going to wrap this up by answering a few of your questions. If you want to know more about my trip though, and I didn't answer your question, check my blog. I'll link the link below. I'm gonna be answering a lot more over there and talk to you guys a little bit about like restaurants to visit and places to go and like all that jazz. Someone asked, what was the most magical or spiritual moment of the trip? I think the most magical moment was our closing ceremony. Rochelle had us sit across from each other, and for a full minute, we had to look into the person across from us, like right into their eyes, and like focus just on their eyes and say nothing and just look. I'd never done anything like that, and oh my gosh, it was one of those things where like, oh, it was just so vulnerable. And I think all of us at some point were like getting giggly, but then almost tearing up. There's just something so powerful about just looking into someone's eyes for a full minute. So anyway, we looked into their eyes for a full minute, and then when that minute was up, she had us write down on a piece of paper what that made us feel and like how that person made us feel. And so we did that for all 6 girls. And then at the end, we got our pieces of paper back of what everyone wrote about you and how they felt about looking into your eyes. Like, we were sitting there reading it back and just sobbing. It was so powerful. What a great exercise. I feel like I will be referring back to that piece of paper whenever I feel doubt or anxiety or feeling a little bit down on myself. It felt like they saw me, you know? And Oh, I'm tearing up thinking about it. It was so good. It was so good. Oh my gosh. The next question asked, was it exclusively for girls? This trip was, yes, and they do exclusively for women trips for their self-love retreats, I believe. But their regular like meditation retreats, they are co-ed. Someone asked, how often did I talk to Glenn and was it hard to be away from him? We spoke every day through text, or I called every couple of days, or he called me. I love that man so fucking much. Like he's my person, you know? And I think that having time away from each other just really solidifies that. We've been together for almost 9 years and we're really used to spending time apart because, you know, I travel for work sometimes and sometimes he's gone home to Australia, or, you know, we're always doing something. I don't know, it's never like a bad thing to leave. It's always a joyful thing because then I get to come back home to him and Lola. Yeah. Someone asked about cannabis. They said, were you able to use cannabis while on this trip? Hell fucking no, girl. Oh my God, Bali, they will literally kill you. You will go to jail and they will kill you. They have like a no tolerance whatsoever with any type of drug. Like even if you bring like pharmaceutical, like something with codeine in it, like you could go to jail. It is serious fucking business. You don't mess around with that. So no, I did not use cannabis on this trip whatsoever. It was probably the longest tolerance break I've had in about a year. So that was really fun. And I feel like I'll go home and enjoy it all the more. Okay, the last question I'm gonna answer because I gotta get going is, how do you feel you changed mentally from your trip? I think that's a great question. When I went into it, I kind of felt like, I wondered whether or not I would feel like I had like a spiritual trip or how that would feel on the way home. And I just feel so light. I don't know how else to explain it. I've spent so much time just reflecting and really truly putting it out to the world how grateful I am. And I just feel like you view the world so differently when you take the time to do that. And especially having meditated every day for 12 days, that's a first for me. And I don't know, it's giving me such just a beautiful headspace. Highly recommend. I'm gonna touch on all of these a little bit more in the blog post because again, this video is getting so long and I gotta get going. 36-hour plane ride, here I come. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this little recap of my Bali adventure. I am so grateful and excited to have been here, and I think it's so cool that I get to share this via YouTube for you guys because I get to look back on this in like 10, 20 years and be like, wow, remember that time I was in Bali? It's just, my heart is so happy. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so very much if you made it all the way to the end of this. Don't forget to enter in my giveaway in my last video if you missed that. I have a $1,200 device that I'm giving away, so jump on over there and enter so you don't miss out on that. And yeah, that's everything from me. I will talk to you guys when I get home. Have a beautiful day. Bye.